Now in this video I'm going to share with you the darkest secrets in the world that sound bad, but it's actually going to help you upgrade your consciousness and become the happiest and best version of yourself. So you won't believe that this is happening, but it has happened, and this is going to be quite liberating. So this is Jake Ducey with JakeDucey.com, and let's dive right into this video. So we all know Sigmund Freud, right? Like the grandfather of psychology and psychotherapy, and basically his discoveries in a super nutshell helped us discover the unconscious mind and the bizarre motives of the unconscious mind. Now, insert his nephew, Edward Bernays, who saw a great opportunity to profit off his uncle's discoveries. And basically what he did is he created public relations. He created PR. So that didn't exist before. So he went to the biggest companies in the world and banks and all these things, and he said, look, I can use my uncle's discoveries, and I can actually use it to convince people they're not good enough, smart enough, and that they're too fat, they're too skinny, and they need to buy all these things to be lovable. And to top it all off, I understand the hidden motives of the unconscious mind, and if we position things the right way, where people want power, sex, validation, if we position these the right way, I can get the triggers of the unconscious mind that will basically get people addicted to buying all your products and services. It's going to cost you a bunch of money to hire me, but it's going to make you way more money. More ha 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 ha. True story, this actually happened. You can Google it yourself, Edward Bernays. And he created public relations. It didn't exist before. So they started basically the first campaigns to essentially do inverse marketing to convince people that they weren't good enough. They're too fat, they're too skinny, they need all these things. You need to buy this, you need to buy the newest of this. And this has been going on for quite a while. And so we come to present day where we've been conditioned from the time you're in your womb. When you're in your mother's womb, we've been conditioned to believe we are inferior. And that's how this entire global elites of society control us. Is there are very few people that think that they actually are very powerful. When in reality, you are immensely powerful. But we've been convinced to instead get attached to the image we see in the mirror, and to then go, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I'm too old, I'm too young, I didn't go to the right school, I need to buy this thing, I need to buy that thing, and I'm not good enough, and I'm not smart enough. And I titled this video, The World's Darkest Secrets, because they've set up a system of control that only will last if people don't think that they're good enough. And that's what they've done. They've literally done this. All of the most absurd commercials you see in present time and the most absurd parts of the consumeristic society, buying things in and of itself, there's no big deal with that, right? It's how they've convinced us to buy them, which is you are basically worthless, you suck, you're bad, you're gonna go to hell, you're ugly, you're too fat, you're too skinny, you're unlovable, and you need these things to feel better. And that's how they built this whole society. Then they started, as it started working more effectively, then they decided they were going to start doing larger and larger outlet malls and bigger things, and that's how this whole society in present day got built. Now, it can make you angry or it can liberate you. I'm choosing the latter. This is just a playground for us to learn and experience. We're spiritual beings in a physical body, and we incarnated here to learn these things. But what I want you to know is that you already are good enough. You already are worthy. You're a divine being. Comment down below, I am a divine being. Comment that down below, I am a divine being. See, the way that they've set the system up is control. And the only way you can control people is if you can convince them that there's something wrong with them. It's kind of like in a really bad abusive relationship, right? How does one person control the other person? Is the other person thinks on a really deep level, it could be from childhood or it could be from the present abuse, they think that they're so bad that they actually deserve the abuse. And then it becomes this weird addictive cyclical nature, and they think that they aren't good enough and smart enough and they couldn't even get anyone better, and if they leave, bad things will happen. And it's like, it's a similar type of psychological pattern that we're all in with the way that the elites and these giant billion-dollar advertising companies have set this whole thing up. It's like they've taught us if we break away from the system and we go within ourselves and find our own peace, joy, and freedom, that we're somehow setting ourselves up to not be good enough because we need to impress everybody else. And here's what I want you to remember. You already are good enough. So if you already are good enough, how do you want your life to be? See, it's a very different way to look at it. Most people look at it from, I am not good enough, how do I want my life to be? So we try to fill voids within ourselves of our own inadequacy. Instead, if we recognize we're already a divine being, there are great things within our life, then what happens is, all of a sudden, we can consciously create our life from a healthy, feel-good, and free perspective. You can have the car, you can have the house, you can have the first-class flights, but if you're seeking your own identity from them, they'll never make you happy. If, on the other hand, you know that your identity is a divine being already, you're already good enough, you're already smart enough, you're already deserving because you're one with God, and God put you here, and that another person or an advertising agency doesn't have the ability, albeit unconsciously, to tell you that you're inadequate. Who are they to do that? They do it, albeit they do it unconsciously. You're a divine being. The kingdom of heaven is truly within. Now, you can enjoy all the nice things that life has to offer, but now you're no longer seeking your identity from them. Now you're no longer have the ability to be controlled by the societal elites. You're free. You're free to create, you're free to live, you're free to manifest, you're free to be yourself. You've been led to believe you're just a physical body. That's how this whole system, if everyone knew that they were one with God, how long would this system last? Not very long. So you've got to convince people they're their physical body and that they are the maladies and the problems of their body. Therefore, they're flawed. But that's not you. You're a spiritual being in a physical body. It's kind of like when I'm going to the Northwest here next week. When I go to the Northwest and I rent a car, it's not my car. I'm renting it for the experience there in the Northwest. Similarly, this is not you. It's your body. You're renting it for the experience here in third dimension to remember your oneness with God, to remember your true self, which is your divine being. The kingdom of heaven is within you. So, comment down below, the kingdom of heaven is within. Comment down below, the kingdom of heaven is within. And when you start to realize this, you can start radiating that energy out there. What you're going to do is make this world a lot more beautiful place just by you radiating that inner power, that inner grace, recognizing your divine nature. You're going to help liberate other people, other souls that are trapped in this feeling of inferiority where they think they need all these things in order to impress people or feel good about themselves. You can have all those things, but let's first find the kingdom of heaven is within ourselves. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. That's what's going to notify you for new videos. So make sure you actually hit the bell notification, like this video to send it out into the YouTube universe. Hit like on this video right over here to send it out into the good old YouTube universe. And right there down below is thesecondmind.com. I created a software to start rewiring your mind so you live from this place rather than the way society has conditioned us to believe in our own inferiorities. What if you could program your mind to erase all that stuff so you can live from your highest and best self? That's what I set out to do with the Second Mind. It's a software to do that for you. It's a free demo right there down below. It's thesecondmind.com right there down below. Thesecondmind.com right there down below, pinned to the comments. So check that out.